Dividend stocks or growth stocks? Which should you choose? I saw a comment on one of my videos earlier this week in which somebody said that they preferred dividend stocks to growth stocks, and it got me thinking which one is actually better. So in this video I'll explain the key differences, the pros and the cons of each, and how I personally balance them in my portfolio. And I'm hoping that by the end you'll know which one might suit you depending on your goals. Before we compare them, let's quickly break down what growth stocks and dividend stocks actually are. So growth stocks are companies that are focused on expanding as fast as possible. So instead of paying money back to shareholders, they reinvest this money into things like research, new products, or even entering new markets. The idea is that these companies will grow much bigger in the future and their stock prices will rise with them. A classic example would be a company like Amazon or Tesla, as in their early years they didn't pay dividends, but people invested because they believed the company would grow massively over time. The trade-off is that they can be very volatile, going up and down quickly. On the other hand, we've got dividend stocks, and these companies are usually more stable and established, and instead of reinvesting all of their profits, they share a portion of those profits directly with shareholders in the form of dividends, which is basically a regular cash payment. And yeah, think of companies like Coca-Cola or Procter & Gamble, and they're not growing as explosively as a young tech company, but they reward investors by paying steady dividends year after year. This makes them attractive for people who want passive income or a bit more stability. So in short, growth stocks are all about future potential and price appreciation, while dividend stocks are about steady income and reliability. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of each, starting with growth stocks. The big advantage of growth stocks is the potential, and if you back the right company early, it can multiply in value over time. And it's because these are businesses that are reinvesting everything to grow bigger and bigger, and if they succeed, your returns can be huge. And because I'm young, I've got time on my side to ride out the ups and downs. But that's also the downside. Growth stocks are risky. They can swing 20, 30, or even 50% in a short space of time, which isn't easy to watch, and since most don't pay dividends, the only way you can make money is if the share price goes up. Now with dividend stocks, the pros are a bit different. They're usually more stable, more established companies, and they actually pay you along the way. And getting those regular cash payouts probably feels quite good, and if you reinvest them, it can really speed up compounding. So they're great if you want a steady income or a bit more peace of mind. The flip side to this is that dividend stocks don't usually grow as quickly, and you're less likely to see those explosive returns you might get from a growth company. And also dividends aren't guaranteed either, as companies can cut them if times are tough. So to sum it up, growth stocks are higher risk, higher potential, while dividend stocks are more about stability and income. So it really depends on which stage of your life you're at and what your goals are financially. So what do I do? At 21, I personally lean more towards growth stocks over dividend stocks, and there's a few reasons for this. First, it's all about time horizon, and I've got decades ahead of me before I need to touch this money, which means I can afford to take on more risks and ride out the ups and downs. So even if the growth stocks crash in the short term, history shows that markets recover, and I've got the time to wait. Secondly, I'm focusing on compounding growth, and growth companies reinvest their profits instead of paying them out as dividends. This means that they're constantly trying to expand, which, if successful, can multiply my investment over time. And again, at this stage in my life, I'd rather chase the long-term wealth building than smaller, steady cash payouts. And the third and final reason is that dividend stocks are always going to be there. And when I'm older and want more stability or passive income, I can always shift my portfolio into dividend-paying stocks or ETFs. But right now, I see growth as the best way to build the foundation of my portfolio. So yeah, for me at 21, growth stocks make more sense, but that doesn't mean I ignore dividends completely. I just keep them as a smaller part of my overall portfolio. So growth stocks versus dividend stocks, which one's better? Honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer, as growth stocks can build serious wealth if you've got the time and the patience, but dividend stocks give you a stability and income, which growth stocks won't. I think I'll wrap the video up there. Let me know down in the comments if you prefer growth stocks or dividend stocks. And if you're interested in seeing how my ISA portfolio is doing, just check one of my recent updates. And yeah, see you in the next one.